Welcome back to my channel, Dr. Okoya Ebasi. Today we are going to look at 4 habits of the rich. Now, the rich has certain habits that have been keeping them rich. That is why the adage that says that the rich continues to get richer while the poor continues to get poorer. The reason is that they have certain things they do that keeps them wealthy, keeps them rich. And we are going to look at 4 of them today. The first one is that the rich knows how to count their money. Every rich man counts their money to the last kobo. They know where their money is going. They know how much is coming in. They know how much is going out. They keep track of their money. They are not like the poor. A poor man, somebody that is poor, may be earning salary and he doesn't care. As the salary comes, sometimes even before the salary comes, he has already started spending the salary. So he doesn't sit down to calculate how much is coming in and how much is going out and what is the money being used for. Most of the time, the poor people don't bother, because sometimes they even feel that the money, after all, the money is not even enough. So why do I bother myself to begin to think of calculating it? So as the money comes, it begins to go out for expenses to meet the bills and the requirements of life. When you live your life like that, you are not counting your money. You don't know how much you are getting. You don't know how much is going for food, how much is going for transport, how much is going for clothing, how much is going for other things. Now, the rich don't live like that. The rich budgets. They make a budget to know the amount of money they are expecting. If it is a salary, they know that this month, this is the amount of money that is coming in, I'm going to earn as salary. And out of this money, this is going for food. This one will be going for transport. This one will be going for savings. This one is going for investment. So they keep track of their money. Every 1 naira is counted for. That is a skill, a habit that every rich man has. Every rich man will always want to count their money to the last kobo. Even if you are in business, you need to know how much is coming in and how much is going out to the last kobo. So this is an habit that the rich have. And if you want to be rich, then you need to take deliberate steps to develop these habits. Don't be somebody that you don't know how much is coming in, you don't budget, you are not bothered about how your finances. You need to take control of your finances and know how your monies are being used and what is being used for. That is an habit that the rich has, that you need also to develop if you also want to be rich. Now, the second habit that the rich has is that the rich always want to pay themselves first. Every rich man understands that for you to continue to be rich and remain rich, you have to pay yourself first. And now when we talk about paying yourself, sometimes people think that whenever the salary comes, then you take a part to go to a good restaurant and eat, or use it to buy clothes for yourself. That way you are paying yourself. No, that is not what we are talking about. Paying yourself means you have set aside, when the money comes, you set aside the money that you will use for investment first before you begin to spend the remaining one. What people do is that most of the times when the money comes, after all the expenses, whenever there is any leftover, that is when they will be thinking, okay, let me use this one to do something that may be generating money for me, or let me put it into savings. The rich do the opposite. As the money comes, the first thing they do is that they first of all remove the one they want to save for investment before they begin to spend the remaining one. It's an habit. That is the way they do things. It's that the habits of the rich. So if you want to be rich, you need to develop these habits so that you can also be rich like others. Whenever, if you are working, as you receive your salary, it is expected that you remove the one that you will use for investment first before you spend the remaining one. That will even help you to keep track of how you are spending your money, because the more money you have, the more careless you are. So if you first of all remove a reasonable part of it for savings, for investments, you will know how to manage the other one, so you'll be able to keep track of the remaining one. So the rich always make sure they pay themselves first. That paying themselves first means they first of all remove the money that they will use for investment before they spend the remaining one. That is the second habit of the rich. Now, the third one is that the rich people are always looking for how to multiply or increase their income. Now, in whatever you are doing, if you are a civil servant, for example, you are earning salary, and as the salary comes, year in, year out, your salary is still the same. That is one of the reasons why you are poor, why you cannot be rich. Now, the rich is always looking for how to multiply their income, how to increase their earning. So if they receive salary, they set some part of their salary aside for investment to put it into things that will generate money for them. So by the time they do that for some time, you find out that the investment also will be generating money for them while their salary is also running. And they continue like that to try and see how much they can continue to increase their salary. So year in, year out, the rich is increasing their sources of income. It's increasing the amount of money they are earning, while the poor remains on that salary structure from year after year, because it's structured in such a way that you hardly have any increment. Maybe the increment, when they are at the end of the day, whatever they will put for you as an increment is maybe 5,000 or 10,000. Then you know that you are that year is a bonus for you. No, the rich doesn't do like that. The rich will keep money aside, invest it, and that investment will be generating money, and they continue to do more investments, so that the more they invest, the more money they get in addition to their salary. So every time the rich is thinking of how he will be able to multiply and increase his sources of income. So that is another habit of the rich. Now, the fourth habit of the rich that we are going to discuss today is time management. Time management in this aspect is that we are referring to when some people will go to the office, for example, and stay from morning till 4 o'clock, from 8 to 4. They are in the office, but they are not doing anything. They are just there gisting, laughing, making jokes, or moving from one office to the other. Now, after you have spent 8 hours in the office and then you come back home, and then you will say, oh, I have been in the office for 8 hours. How reasonable have you used the 8 hours? That is what that matters. The rich always make sure that they utilize their time very well. Anytime they want to work, they work. So if it is 2 hours they spend in the office, they use those 2 hours to focus on their job. Make sure they accomplish the assignments that are in their hands, so that day after day they are moving forward in life. While the poor will waste the 8 hours and say, today I will spend 8 hours in the office. So meanwhile, the 8 hours, no productivity. You are not adding value to anything. You are not making good use of anything. You are not accomplishing any goal. Which means at the end of the day, you just wasted the 8 hours, spend the 8 hours in the office. Meanwhile, you did not accomplish anything. The rich don't waste their time. The rich always focus on making sure that they accomplish something for that day. So every day, like a routine in their lives, they make sure they accomplish something. While the poor would like to waste his own time, use it for gist and other things, and then say, I have spent 8 hours or I have spent 5 hours in the office. Whenever the rich wants to work, they focus on their assignment and make sure that they are accomplishing their dreams, they are accomplishing their goals. And that way, over time, before you will know, they are ahead of others. And people will say they are lucky. It's not because they are just lucky. It's because they are using their time well to do what is necessary, to do what is really going to improve their lives. And that is why they move ahead of others. These are some of the habits of the rich. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel, share these videos, and make your comments. Thank you.